Hi guys, it's Mrs. C here with Cycle 1 Week 15. It's been a long day. I tutored essentials as well this afternoon, so that was really great to do that. If you haven't tutored essentials and you have a kid in there before, you should totally do it because it was a really good experience. I was super nervous about it, but there are tons of helpful people out there, which is one of the things that I love about CC. So anyway, but you're here for foundations, not for essentials. So I will jump in. I started with maps like I always do. We just went through our map, and I am going to stop looking at my app every week for the map, because then I get in class and the maps are different than the way they are on the app. I mean, it's the same map, obviously, because the earth is the same, but then it's a different map. And today we couldn't find where Cairo was, and finally we realized that it was down in the bottom square. So this week all of our locations are in the blown up square on the map. So if you are looking for those and you're having a hard time finding those, they're on the bottom square. I mean, you can find them in the other area, the bigger area, but they're blown up in the square, and that's where you will find them. And thankfully I have very helpful students who helped me with that today. So anyway, so we just went through all of those locations again. As I've been doing all year, we jump off from doing those and go into reviewing all of the places that are around our locations, and then go back and hit the locations from this week again, just to kind of get our review in for geography while we have our maps out, and then also kind of go away from the ones we just learned and then come back to them and see if we actually really remembered where they were. So that was geography. And then while they had their maps out, I had them keep them out, and we moved into science, and we just had them open it up to the world view, the black and white map. And I went through and I had brought in Hershey's Kisses, and these were our mountains. And so we set them on each of the places and talked about their mountains. And I bought 2 different bags, so I had 6 different colors, and then I let them pick their favorite color. And I just let them put whatever color they wanted to on each mountain. If I redid it, I would specify which color to go on each mountain, and then the last one I would let them, whatever color they had picked extra, I would let them put it on there. And then I would say, okay, what mountain was our silver Hershey's Kiss on? And have them tell me what mountain it was and what continent it was. I tried to do more like, okay, if you have a silver Hershey's Kiss on Denali in North America, then you can eat your Hershey's Kiss. But that got really confusing, and because they're older, they're smart enough to just switch their Hershey's Kisses around. So anyway, so if I was doing that and I was you and you had different colors, so they have, let me get my other bag out here, sorry. At Target right now, they have like these size bags, and this one has red and pink and silver, and then this one has purple, blue, and pink, but this pink has like hearts on it, so they were easy to distinguish. And they were buy one get one 25% off, I think, this week. So anyway, that's what we did. So I gave them all Hershey's Kisses, put them all on their maps, and we went over them. They ate some chocolate. They were happy about that. And we did that right after geography while we had our maps out. I tried to come up with a cute acronym for them. The only thing I could come up with was EVACT. So EVAKKED. So like evacuated, evact. That I didn't come up with anything else. And then I was like doing the chocolate, and I was like, all right, that's all I need to do. So if you want to jump off from EVACT, go for it. As we cleaned that up and we put our maps up, we chanted through our Latin. We've already learned all of this Latin, and we have 2 weeks of it every time. So I'm not doing anything super special for it. I have tried doing like tossing a ball around, doing hot potato and things like that. And it tends to get a little out of hand in my class because they just get a little wild with it. So we've just been chanting it, and they know them all. So it's not been something I've had to really teach this time. And we did it slow, and then we just got faster. We did it 3 times while we were cleaning up everything from our Hershey's Kisses and our maps and markers. So then we went into history, and from history, one of my students' birthdays is tomorrow, and he absolutely loved these little guitars the last time I brought them in, and I hadn't brought them in for a while. So I got these from the dollar store. They have they don't always have them, but when they do, they tend to have these and like electric looking ones. And I just bought a whole bunch of these ones, and you can actually tighten the string. So they, as I always say, they make enough noise that it's satisfying, but not so much noise that you can't hear the music and it's distracting. Yes, honey. Do you want to come say hi? Yeah. Can you say hi?
Hi.
What's your name?
Good.
Say Olivia.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you want to play the guitar?
Yeah.
Okay, you can take the guitar. Go play with it. Children of all ages love the guitar. So we got those out, read through about Prince Henry. I pointed out earlier when we were going through a map and reviewing, Hispania has Portugal in it, and we were going to be talking about Portugal and just where that was. And then we went through our history sentence, reminded them Portugal, remember that's up in Hispania. And we talked about our timeline card because we just covered that. I think it was last week. Let's see. 2 weeks ago. So week 13 was Prince Henry found. So we talked about in our timelines, Prince Henry founds the School of Navigation, and then slave trade in Africa. And in our history sense, it talks about him founding that school is what helped advance the slave trade. And so that's why that comes right after in the timeline, that was part of what caused that to happen. So then we just went through and listened to it. Thankfully, unlike last week, it's a much shorter sentence this week, so it didn't take too long to get through. The kids just played their guitars. So we did it twice with the music, and we did it one more time, and I turned off the music and we just sang it and did our guitars on our own. Then we went to our helping verbs. And so for helping verbs, we are chanting them and then just also doing a song. Some of my kids like songs and some of them don't. Last week we started with helping verbs, help another verb assert an action, being, or existence. Helping verbs make lots of sense, and we'll connect into this week. So helping verbs are do, does, did, and then we'll continue adding. So I feel like I learned this song through a video. I will see if I can find it and I'll link it down below for you. And then that way you can hear it sung all the way through if you would like to learn it yourself. It's just that same tune and you just sing through the words. So let's see, for timeline, I brought in my timeline cards and I hid them around the room because I hadn't done that for a while, and I had been scoping out some better hiding spots. So I hid them all, and then when I hide them, I sing through a section of the timeline that we're working on multiple times where they try to find them, and it took them a good long while to find them this time because I've gotten better at my hiding. And then once we get all of the cards on the table, we just go through and put them all together. And if you have the older ones, you may want to point out to them that the guy on the First Great Awakening looks like he is getting ready to fall asleep, which I always just find ironic. So anyway, that was timeline. And then we just had math left. I had brought, I don't know if you've ever seen them before. They are kind of plastic molded stepping stones, and they're all different heights off of the floor. My kids like to use them at home, and we play like the floor is lava and you have to jump from one to the next. I had brought those in thinking that I would get them out and let them go from one to the other while we were chanting math. But we ran out of time, and I forgot that we were, all of the classes were using our bigger area that I was going to set it up in to do science and art. So that just didn't work out today. So we just chanted it and went through. And when I say chant, we just said 10 millimeters equals 1 centimeter, 100 centimeters equals 1 meter, 1,000 meters equals 1 kilometer. So we talked about kilometer is kilometer, not kilometer, and that if you're a visual person and you're doing Memory Master, because I'm visualizing that it's 10, 100, 1,000, and then it's 1, 1, 1 on the other side was just helpful for me. So that was all we did today for new grammar. For review today, I will tell you a fun game that we played. I saw somebody on the tutor page on Facebook mention doing Deal or No Deal, and I was like, oh, that is a great idea. And so I just kind of ran with that my idea on my own. If you have never watched it, it's a game show that involves trying to win $1 million. So I just bought some of the smaller envelopes. I think these are like 3 by 6 or something like that. And then I just printed cases on them. And so it's 1 through 26, just like on the show. And then in each one of these envelopes was one card with a money value on it. So these were the large size index cards. I just cut them in half and put a money value. And you can look it up online, all the different money values, but it starts at a penny and then there's like $1 and $5 and it goes up all the way up to $1 million. Again, if you haven't watched the game or haven't watched the game show, then you might like want to watch an episode so you know how to play it. But basically what happened, how I did it in class was I had all of these envelopes laid out 1 through 26 in order. And I let my student whose birthday's tomorrow, I let him select which envelope, which case number was going to be the class's case. Okay. So he picked number 13. So I took number 13, stuck it up on the board, and that was their case. Okay. So then I'd ask a review question. So I would say, okay, tell me what are the compound prepositions? So I'd go through, do the compound prepositions, and then I just went one by one around the table. So my first student, she picked an envelope. Let's say she picked number 12. So I would take number 12, open it up, and we would see what the number and be like, oh, it was 1,000. And Deal or No Deal, $1,000 is like good to get because it's one of the lower numbers. And I had on the back of my board, I have a portable board, so I had flipped it around. I had written all the different amounts that were in there, and I erased it so we could see what was left because you don't know what's in they don't know how much money they have in the case they picked. Okay. So then we went to the next student. And I'd say, all right, noun cases, nominative, subject, gender, possessive. We go through all that. Then they would pick another card. So let's say they picked 14. So I'd take 14, open it up, and we'd see, ooh, you got lucky. It was only $100 in there. That's awesome. So I would erase $100 off the board and maybe move around. So the first couple times we have 7 kids today because one of them was out, but we did all 7 went around. And then like on the show, the banker calls and it makes them an offer trying to buy their case for less money than what's left on the board, but maybe more money that's what's in the case. So the first time they still had $1 million and there's 750,000 and 500,000. They had some of their bigger numbers, but they had gotten rid of a few of the ones after that. And then they had gotten rid of a few smaller. So I made them an offer for like 157,000 and they were like, no, we're not taking your offer. So then we kept playing. And when we got towards the end, when you're down on a fewer number of cases, then you make offers more often. So like instead of after waiting for all 7 kids to go, after like 3 kids went, then I would make them offer to buy their case. So it worked really well. We were able to get through almost all of our review. Again, I do geography at the beginning. Our prepositions we sing, like when we do them, I don't review them week by week. We sing through the entire thing. So that helps get through kind of some larger chunks more quickly. So we were able to get through most all of our review, and they had a blast with it. They ended up at the very end deciding to trade their case for the last case, and they ended up winning $1,000. But they only had 1,750 left, so they actually ended up making more by trading their case than they would have. But they all said they wanted to play it again next week, and now that I have it prepped, it's very easy prep. You just have the 26 cards with your money amounts on them, and then your 26 of the envelopes with your case numbers, and you don't have to print them. I just felt fancy last night. I was the stick and the glitter last night, and I printed them and the cases on there, but you could just use envelopes and write numbers. So it's unlimited play because I will mix these up and I'll mix the envelopes up and I will stick them back in there and it'll be a totally different game next time. So that's a great review game, and it worked really well today. So that is all we did this week. I hope you guys have had an awesome week, and I will see you back next week with week 16.
Mommy,
Yes.
chocolate.
I had chocolate, and you see that Hershey Kiss there?
Yeah.
Would you like it? Yeah. Can you tell everybody bye?
Bye.
We see you next week.